Hey guys, what's up? This is Don again. Welcome back. We're going to tweak Titanfall 2. Now this is a game, it's almost a year old now, which is interesting. I can't believe time flies that much. But uh, it's really demanding for this particular hardware. And let's jump into the settings here and see what we got. First off, the very first thing that I'm not going to change is the texture streaming budget. Because as soon as you try to go any higher than 4 gigabytes, which is what I have in my card, it gives you that red text right there. It says, warning, setting it larger than 4 gigs can really fuck your shit up. So I'm staying away from that. All I'll get is hitching and not a huge graphical improvement anyway. So I'm going to stay away from that. So right off the bat, I'm keeping that at high. And this game was designed for 60 frames per second. And you can see I'm in like the low 30s right now. And that's not, there's nothing even going on right now. So that's not a very promising sign. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to aim for 60 frames because that's how the game was meant to be played. And we'll see how well it can pull it off. But I'm kind of skeptical. So let's go into, where's my mission exactly? Trying to figure out where the heck to go here. Alright, so as soon as I embark and I get inside, it looks like the frame rate shoots up. So it does. It goes up to 50. But in open areas like this, looks like it's probably CPU bound. I'm not sure how much of that I can actually remedy. But let's see. So, let's go. First of all, I'll tell you what. Let's turn off ambient occlusion. It makes it look significantly worse in my opinion, but what do we gain there? So we go to 52 FPS from, what do we have it at? 42. So from 43, 44 to 52 FPS. So we gain 8 frames per second just by dropping ambient occlusion immediately. Okay, then we go shadow and sunspot detail. Let's try turning those down. We're up to 58, 57, mid-50s. I saw 60 for a second. Okay, so we're getting closer without dropping too much detail. Let's try dropping these to low. I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave those at high. I'm going to leave them at high. There's no medium, strangely enough. Let's say dynamic spot shadows. We'll leave those on for now. Let's try turning these two down to high and far. Let's see if that gets us where we want to go. Oh, we're so close. So we're at like 60 frames looking this way, and as soon as I turn this way where there's another mech, another Titan, he bark.
Controls transfer
50s. So now that I'm in the Titan, we are in the high 40s, which is fine. I mean, that's a big improvement because we were at, what, 30s? Low 30s to begin with? So let's keep going here. I want to get into an area where there's actually some action going on, and it's kind of stressing it out so that I know for sure that whatever settings I end up on. Okay, so we are at like 40 right now, so that's really not where we want to be. It is playable, don't get me wrong, but I just don't want to be at 40 frames per second if I can help it. So let's turn that to, yeah, that didn't really do much for us. So, could probably leave those on high. I don't think these will do much either. These are pretty light effects. So, once we get down, I mean, we could turn these off. I don't think that these won't impact frame rate very much right now, though, because we're not out in the scene where spot shadows are actually. So let's say, I guess the next thing we can do is drop the resolution. On this 15-inch screen that I'm using. Big, big monitor, of course, is going to be no, it's not that. Alright, so we're a little closer. We're like low to mid 50s now, which honestly is playable, but it's still not exactly where I want to be. I want that line to be flat. Now, is that possible? Am I going to achieve that? I don't know. Now you can see when I'm outside of a battle, it's actually pretty stable.
I'm engaging.
So let's see here. Let's see what we can do. There's...
Activating sonar.
Okay. Oh. So it's pretty stable now as far as firefights goes. Just one-on-one with guys when I'm outside the mech. As soon as I get into the Titan though, and start battling it out with other mechs, it's gonna be pretty low frame rate again, I bet. Well, not pretty low, but it'll drop.
Caution.
Okay, so we're at 60. We've been at 60 now for quite some time. Very promising. Haven't had to drop too many settings too far, which is nice. I dropped ambient occlusion. I dropped. I thinking we kept dynamic spot shadows. We dropped the sun and whatever the other one was. It's a high from very high, right? Or did we drop them to low? I can't remember. We might have dropped them to low. And then I think we dropped some detail settings, like model detail and one notch.
Hazardous waste rock now filtering. Automated testing facility. Dome 1.
Alright, so it's pretty stable. I'm just not 100% convinced this is exactly the settings I want. So, I'll tell you what, there's this thing that they've created called dynamic resolution. And the console versions of this game utilize it all the time. I don't know the exact numbers of what consoles drop to and from. I'm not sure. I want to say the Xbox One drops to like 720p.
Override engaged. Opening.
But the point is, whenever they get really busy, whenever things are happening, their resolutions drop in order to maintain the frame rate. And right now, I'm playing at a constant 900p. And when things get taxing, and my frame rate just drops. The resolution stays the same, but my frame rate drops. So there is an option in here for dynamic resolution.
Given our dire circumstances,
and
worth taking.
I think I'm going to turn that on now, because it looks like we have a pretty stable setup at 1600 by 1900, or 1600 by 900, but at those moments, at certain moments, it's still dropping frames. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm actually going to, I can turn a couple of these things back up. Let's try, let's see, I don't know if I can do them at very high and far. Let's say, I think I'm going to knock it down one. But yeah, so let's see about the dynamic resolution and whether or not it helps.
Pilot, I am tracking your location. Recommend you seek it.
So it's going to be at the max. It's going to be 900p. I'm sorry. And what we're gonna see is at times it could get a little blurry because it's trying to maintain 60 frames per second instead of resolution. And if you're playing again on a big screen, you might notice that image quality drops pretty significantly at times, especially during heavy firefights, but that frame rate should stay at 60 regardless of what's happening. So that's the goal, like I said, and we'll see if this actually works or not.
This is
should probably turn off
what we have here, my IMC and militia.
honestly, this low resolution
Communicate.
when it drops resolution. I think the grain
That's okay. That's all good.
pixelation and stuff.
Hey, what's up?
Who was that?
Accessing files. Kane, a mercenary commonly affiliated with the Apex Predators. A well-known narcotics user.
Yeah, so you can see here we are, I mean, this is a solid 60 frames per second.
Facility, just so you know, this is
Right? There's absolutely no fluctuation
as long
whatsoever.
as it takes to kill you. Which, by the way,
Even with stuff going on in my face, it's solid. Completely solid.
This is Raccoon 3, 9th Militia Fleet. We're held up in the reclamation facility. The ISDF, new mechanized infantry. Trapped!
Pilot, I'm detecting friendly militia forces along your path. They may need assistance.
Captain, I see something moving by
One
the
tiny little hitch there.
pilot. Captain, we got a friendly militia pilot. Hold your fire. He's SRS. Look his helmet.
Good to see a friendly pilot, sir. Our squad is taking a beating.
L-Star. L-Star hip-hop.
Reinforcements on your six.
So we've had like 2 really tiny hits, and that's been as bad as it's gotten. So looks like we've pretty much achieved what we set out to do as far as like
There's too many.
single player, and that's all I'm gonna try multiplayer as well.
Abduction 3A.
But single player is pretty much, I'm interested in the campaign, and that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna jump online on hotel Wi-Fi and start playing against other people, but we'll jump into multiplayer in just a second. I am interested still. I want to see how well this holds up with Titan fights. Alright guys, we're gonna check out multiplayer now.
Job done.
Now let's see how well our settings from single player hold up under a real stress test. So far we're dipping a little bit down to 58, it looked like. Oop. But it looks like it's not too bad, honestly. I mean, down to 58.
Here they come.
Let's see. Well, the resolution dropped a good bit, though.
Watch out. I got visual over here. Reinforcements on your six. He's moving forward. Heads up, don't get down.
So we could go in here and tweak a couple of things, I think. First of all, I think we could drop AO. I don't think AO's that big a deal. And I think we could drop some of these too. You know, honestly, those things are nice, but in multiplayer, they're not like a huge deal. To me, anyway. I don't know. Maybe like more eye candy. But I think, you know, performance is key. Let's see. Oh, it's got it. Whoa, look at those textures. Oh man. Bad. But honestly, like I was saying earlier, this hardware is like 3 years old at this point. This isn't too bad for An old, and when I bought this laptop, it wasn't top of the line by any means. It's a pretty medium range laptop, so I'll take it, man. It's pretty good, to be honest with you. This is pretty good. I mean, it's Titanfall. Titanfall on the go. Come on now. Can I get a Titan?
Keep firing!
There's 7 minutes left. 54% of the way to getting a Titan. So where is somebody that I can kill? Come on.
Pulling away. Turn it around.
I got one. I got a grunt.
Titanfall is being prepared.
All right. Okay, let's see. Come on. Where is everybody? Alright, here we go. Almost there. I just want a friggin' Titan.
Titan ready. Call it any time, pilot. Stand by for Titanfall.
Sharpshooting pilot, it is good to have you back.
So cool. It's holding its own. Not perfect. It's dropping a little bit.
Can't let them pin us down! We need to move!
Alright, well you can see that Titanfall 2 in multiplayer looks like it'll run pretty solidly, but you gotta drop some settings even further. But I think the key to take away from this whole thing is you need the adaptive resolution on this level of hardware. Otherwise, you're going to have a tough time hitting a constant 60 frames per second. I'll leave it there for now. Thanks for watching, and leave some suggestions for games that you want to see benchmarked below in the comments. See you guys.